What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Game Over Greggy Show. I am one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, Greg.
You have one hair out of place.
Oh no!
Well, actually, a whole bunch up there, but one right there. No, that's fine. You can't fix it. It's impossible to fix.
Is it like
when fixed it?
Did I fix it?
Yeah, it looks pretty good, actually. Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Over here, the pride of Long Island, Colin Moriarty. And the pure one, Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
Let him host, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you gentlemen doing?
Very good.
Colin, you didn't come to work today. You're working from home.
Yep.
Working on a review. I didn't see you.
Tales of Exilia 2.
Yeah, I missed these fucking wiry little arms.
I know those they get a little flabby back here, and I don't know. Yeah, but no, I was just playing my video games.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Good to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know, the Game Over Greggy Show is quite simple. Every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table, each bringing a random topic of conversation for your amusement. If you like that, you go over to GameOverGreggy.bandcamp.com every Friday and buy the MP3 for $1. It's the entire show. High-quality MP3. Almost said H2O. It's the entire show, everything you want right there. If you don't want to pay us the $1 because we're not worth it, we totally understand. You can wait and go to YouTube.com/GameOverGreggy, where every week we break out every topic by topic, until all the topics go up as one giant topic pile.
Topic. As
a giant thing on Friday. Then go to districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy, buy our t-shirts. Then follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, do that.
Then there's something else I usually say. You got the shirts, you got the Bandcamp, you got the like, subscribe, share. You're
Sounds
our best
about right.
friend. We love you. Thank
good.
you. Go to the Reddit. They got the Reddit still going over there.
The one thing you missed is last week. I said 2 weeks ago. I said that last week's episode was going to be worth $1.
Yeah.
This week's episode is also worth $1.
Oh, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just letting you know.
So if
I got a
they're
lot of
watching
tweets letting me know that it was worth $1. So
and you're
I know what I'm
already
talking
saying
about
this
here.
one.
Oh, this
you're
one's
pretty
gonna
confident.
calling a shot. He's the Babe Ruth of podcasting.
All right, if you're so confident, you go first this time. Tim, what's your topic?
Okay. So, Colin.
Yeah.
Earlier tonight, you guys were talking, and I was overhearing, like I often do. And you explained that there's something that can happen that means that Obama could be president again for a third time. Somehow, if something happens. And I don't understand, because to me, I know presidents can only do 2 times. What is this?
There was just an article in Vox today written by an ex-White House advisor saying that when a president runs for a second time because of the 22nd Amendment, he cannot run again. This was created after Roosevelt was president for 4 terms. And it hamstrings the president, makes him a lame duck, what they call lame duck in American politics.
You're not going to get anything passed.
Yeah,
It's over
exactly.
for you,
Like
bro.
you're being weighted out.
Nobody respects you.
And so he was saying that the only way to eliminate lame duck sessions with presidents and with Congress is to eliminate term limits. And he was saying that you get rid of the 22nd Amendment to let people run again. Because it was called the Washington precedent that George Washington ran twice and then he retired, and so that was what everyone was doing. No one even tried to run for a third term until Roosevelt ran for a third term in, 40 he ran for a third term, so 1940. So that's what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they got rid of that,
they got rid of that.
Obama has a chance at a three-peat.
Yeah, if that
But that's
was,
not happening.
No,
That's
not
not
going
like-
to happen.
it was
It's definitely not happening.
It was just
not happening
hypothetical.
because of my topic tonight. My topic is...
You're going somewhere with this.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
I thought it was just like my topic is mishearing things
No.
about presidents.
My topic is, in 2016, there will be 2 parties going.
Right.
One of them, Colin Moriarty, and one of them, Scarpino Gettys.
Oh, I like
Oh.
Yeah.
that. I like that a lot. I like the sound.
Who's
of that.
going to win? Who's going to be president and vice president
Are we
of this fine country?
judging?
Wait, what were the
space-
tickets? It's Scarpino, Gettys, and then Moriarty, Miller, right?
Yes.
I don't want to be on the front of this.
Oh,
ticket.
yeah. Oh, so I said that
Slow that
backwards.
down, all right? Because our campaigns immediately got a giant hole in the boat.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's,
yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, it's...
No one's voting. You saying no one's voting for you for president?
No. I'm a
wouldn't.
great Joe Biden. I'm a great Dan Quayle. Like, when we actually
Yeah.
are
a great Dan Quayle.
When we get...
Can you shake my hand and smile for the camera?
You got to do it.
You're really good
You
at
got to
it.
hold it for 15 or 20
Yeah.
seconds though, really awkwardly.
I mean, yeah, that's the big thing. Like, people like Greg Miller, and they'll watch me on the Twitch or do whatever with me. They'll enjoy hanging out with me, watching the content on IGN. I think that's where they'll follow me on Twitter. When you're voting for who's got their finger on the button, you're not going with this face. Unless, I think you and I could have a good George Bush, Dick Cheney, you're pulling the strings on me kind of a thing. Then I could really work it. But I think for right now, what this country needs... They'd want to have the Moriarty
They
face
need a
up
Moriarty.
there. And you're a great VP, too. You're a great...
I
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
you were going to go
yeah.
the Bush Cheney thing where Cheney just randomly started shooting people in the woods with
I'm going to do that, too.
Yeah.
Once I'm VP, you don't want to come
I
hunting
didn't
with
mean
me.
to shoot you with
See,
a
'cause
double
I
barrel
feel
shotgun.
like if we won, or when we win,
We would win.
it's going to be a lot more fun.
I'll tell you why we would win. Because our promotional campaign for our presidency would be epic.
It's going to have the best thumbnails ever.
It would be all just a ring light rap video, like with us rapping to the pertinent issues of our time, like immigration and drugs.
A Starbucks that's even bigger than the Trenta.
The Quarenta.
Damn. Guys.
Think about that.
The answer is clear.
The only thing I would enjoy would be your campaign T-shirt because it would say Scarpino and then Gettys, but then instead of having that dividing line, it would be a line of cocaine.
See, I can't. The gradients are too expensive. To
Okay, I can't do. I'm sorry, I didn't realize you're pinching pennies on your.
Oh no. We
shirt.
don't have a lot of. This is a grassroots campaign.
Oh, okay.
Well, like back in high school when you're
running for class representative. Yeah,
exactly.
5th grade class
So
representative.
I feel like me and Nick could win that.
So I'm just kind of curious, what would
What's the platform?
What our platform?
What's your party? So you're jumping the gun. There's no, you haven't even got a primary yet. You can both join the primary, and then
in this scenario, that's out the window. We're still in the 2-party system.
Mm-hmm.
We have come to that point. It's down to us somehow.
Well, all right. So there's a problem with your ticket already, in that you have just very fundamentally, you have no regional balance on your ticket. You're both from California.
Yeah.
That's a super important thing when you're running for president.
Yeah, but we're gonna have
balance.
6 states soon,
That's true.
so we're good.
Yeah. So that's a good
lived in
point.
like 4 of them already.
That's a good
So
point.
we're good.
But we don't vote for that until 2016, and you'll be on the 2016 ballot.
Sure.
So then it has to be ratified. So you guys are running in one California. So your regional, your ticket's very slanted. It's a losing ticket.
Colin,
Right.
you're talking all sorts of adult talk. That's not what the nation needs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep hearing about the party. I like that part.
I like
party
that.
are we? Nick?
We're not gonna be a party. We're gonna be the party.
Yeah.
Colin, they're actually making a ticket I like.
Yeah, they're taking.
Hey, there might be room for 2 vice presidents on this.
Oh,
team.
man.
Cards right.
I just like the idea that your campaign photos and stuff with the ring light. And you've got sunglasses on, and Tim's doing that.
Yeah.
Whoa face
I
he
really
does
like
all the
throwing my
time.
hands out
and I'm
there.
doing that
Yeah.
like scared cat face that I do
Oh,
sometimes when I don't know what to do.
The GIF face. There it is.
Yeah,
But what do you
But you're the
stand
president.
for?
You've
What do
gotta
you
be.
stand for?
We stand for all things right.
Unity and equality.
Equality, love, rainbows.
And love. That's what we do. We do it for the love.
We're doing it for the love. We want to see everyone happy. We want to see no one starve.
Yeah.
We're doing
Friendship.
it for
We
the children.
want to
We're doing
see
it-
no one
We're
starve.
doing it for the old men.
By the campaign, but like Scarpino.
Yeah.
Old people and kids alike are welcome at the party.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have an Andrew Jackson thing
Writes
going on, where
itself.
are you gonna have people in the White House? Or you're just gonna let people in the White House
I'm
hang
just gonna
out?
let them chill. There's enough room in there for a good half a state. Have you ever been to the White House? It's a
I've
lot
been in
bigger
front of
than
it.
looks.
I've never been inside of it. No.
It's a lot bigger than it looks on TV. Like, you know how many times they walk around in the White House? That's a good 7-8 miles. Just stretch.
But those are wings.
Around
That's
the
not
house.
really the house itself.
Sure. There's parking lots that people can hang out into underground.
I like that. Can we
So
get
your
a 7-Eleven
campaign
there?
is a campaign of love and
Love
the
and
party.
friendship.
We're
It's about,
the
well,
party.
we would clearly be the Democratic Party on this one.
I think so. Yeah.
We would have
I don't
to.
know, man. I think we would just get rid of that stuff. We are just the party. We don't need to choose a party.
We're the party.
So when people
So
ask
you're
you,
third party
when
then.
people ask you what party are you, just like we're the party. Well, you've
We're
been
the
elected
party.
through the Democratic. you're
Yeah.
a Democrat.
We'd
No,
be-
we're the party.
We'd be
Plus, that limits our votes,
Liberpardians.
though. I feel like people of all types are going to vote for us.
Sure, that's true,
Yeah.
and that's how elections should work. I'd
Yeah,
like
just
to
do
imagine
that.
that happens
Yeah.
all the time, but I mean,
Yeah.
It does.
We'll just ask you
Moderates
to write
always.
us in. They'll just write us into the ballot.
no, that we can't. No, there's one of us is winning. That's the point. We have to have it. It has to be a 2-party system in this.
So you guys would be the
Your
conservative.
third party
You have to be
candidate is
conservative.
Destin Legary.
So
he's filed an amendment where Canadians should now
Dustin
be
Legary
president.
and Sean Finnegan.
That would be an amazing
Colin,
party ticket.
take him to school.
Uh,
Show him what we're about.
No, I mean, we you know, with the policies, we're pretty clear with the conversation with Colin and
Yeah.
where we stand. I think a lot of these
Don't
policies.
spend more than you make.
Right.
Don't be all uppity about the gay marriage.
Right.
Abortion, whatever. Go
Right.
do your thing.
Right.
Playboy.
Right.
All right.
But I'm more curious just how badly I would massacre Nick in the.
Oh my God.
In the,
See,
in the
you've
debates.
here's the thing. You've never debated me before. I'm amazing at
You're gonna prepare?
evasion. No, not at all. Not at all.
Nick.
That's what keeps my mind fresh. You see, when you start asking me things, ask me a great, hardest political question you can think of right now.
I don't know. The zeitgeist right now is immigration.
That's
so
a
what
great
would you-
question. That's a great question, Colin. Let me take. Before I start that though, I want to talk about something a little more important to this country: love.
Love. Damn, dude, we're so good. You can't fight love.
You can't
just
fight love. You can't. There's nothing you can do to combat love. You got to just have it. You got to open your hearts to love.
Your
what I mean?
your ticket seems formidable.
It's
something.
Yeah.
it's something.
It's gonna be a fun party train to watch. That's
See, and
the
if
real
it starts
thing.
going downhill, we'll have Tim accidentally shoot someone.
Right.
And it'll be like, wow, those guys know how to fucking party.
I don't think you
Lewis.
quite understand how this whole thing works, but
I don't-
I'm interested to see how you guys kind of figure this.
What would you
this out.
what would you guys run on? What would your platform be?
Well, we would be Republicans.
Well, I know that.
Well, we
that's
would be.
your party,
We would
but
be
what
new Republicans.
What would your big thing
New
be?
Republicans.
Yes.
New Republicans.
Yeah,
I
maybe
know.
we would just reform the Whig Party. And
We'd be the ones to come in. I always say that if the Republican Party Colin describes, and that he like, if all Republicans were like Colin, I'd totally be on board with being a Republican. I would assign myself to their party. They make sense.
Right.
Small government. Stay out of my business. Stay out of my money. Stop taxing me to death.
Right.
Stop getting in other people's way with their personal liberties and what they want to do. Marry whoever you want to marry.
But on the other side, there's just love. That's the ticket.
We are fighting a nebulous enemy.
Yeah.
That's the
hard,
problem.
man. I'm sorry,
Can't
guys.
find love.
I
You
would
know
want
why?
to be you.
Because love is everywhere, guys.
But we have
you.
concrete. Don't
It's
touch
in
me.
you.
The
Why are
president.
you so warm?
I burn hot. I'm also fat. Team fat.
My
DistrictLines.com/GameOverGreggy.
You're like a big blanket.
Yeah.
Wrap you around me.
What gets really
to a
bad at
debate.
night is like I'll be so hot I'll sleep on top of the covers in just my underwear.
Yeah.
And then Portillo, who's also burns hot, will come and just like slam himself on my side. So it's like the two hottest things in the world.
Does he just like slide off in the morning? He's sweaty like
Now in the middle of the night he gets up and he gets out of there.
Does he?
He's had enough of that crap.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Anyways,
sleep. I'm gonna sleep in that bed.
You can come.
Let's cuddle.
We got a big
together
bed.
later.
All right.
I mean, Steinberg doesn't have to be there.
No, sure.
I like this idea. I'm
Yeah,
excited about
this
this.
is good.
We should actually consider running, all of us.
But I mean, the first pet's always a big deal.
Portillo obviously.
Yeah,
already
you have
wins.
Portillo. What do we got?
I see you guys with the chimpanzee.
Ooh,
Or orangutan.
damn.
So that could be like this. Hey, that's Cheeto, the orangutan.
Cheeto the orangutan.
Yeah, his name would be Cheetos.
Damn, I really like that.
Whenever
Can
you
we
go-
make sure we get one of the like the monkeys that was in a '90s movie. Like there was a lot of monkeys.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they're all
Well,
dead,
we'll
aren't
just say it's the monkey
hope
from the
not.
90s movie, and no one will ever... They're like, that's not him.
Right.
He can't possibly be that old. Like,
What you need to do is when you go to like do your presidential speeches like in front of the White House press corps, you roll in with Cheeto the what is he, orangutan?
this is Cheetos, the orangutan.
Cheetos.
He's got to be plural.
Cheetos on the orangutan, but he's got like he's got like a tree on a platform with a tire swing. You roll in next to you.
Then like every fifth statement that comes out of my mouth, I hand him a banana and he like cracks it in half
Yeah.
like monkeys
But
do.
no, then anytime they're like, "Well, President, things aren't going right. You know, the boots on the ground in Iraq, it isn't going our way. What do you do?" And you just look at me like it's a great question. Jim from the New York Times. I'll tell you the same thing I tell all the boys in blue when I see them out there on the battlefield. I tell them just like
Boys in blue? What is this, a civil war?
just like I tell Cheetos the orangutan. Hang in there, and the monkey's hanging right next to you. Orangutan is hanging right next to you.
in there.
Hang in there.
I like
The
it.
boys
I
in
like it a
blue.
lot.
They would
From
appreciate that.
1863.
I'm sorry. I understand that you've thought about being president for a long time. I haven't thought about it, so I've only ever thought about being a mayor. So I'm thinking of how do I address the troops on the ground there. My boys in blue, of course, the PD,
Right,
police
right.
officers. I wasn't prepared to step up and make this speech with Cheetos,
I would-
the orangutan next to me.
Yeah, I think we'll win, Greg. I think we'll win the election. I think we'll win the election.
I think
like
you'll win because
95% of the vote.
Here's the reason. I think your guys' stuff looks better on stuff. Like your two names look better on.
You think the
things.
the Moriarty Miller shirt
Eminem
does look good.
There's the alliteration going on. I like that.
Eminem, and then we can have Eminem rap at our
and
inauguration.
it's Eminem.
If we can do that, yeah.
Would it be too far to go Eminem 16? Like, is that too much? Is that
Yeah,
too
it's
militant?
That's too
That's
much.
too much.
That- we might also get sued by the
M16.
Mars company for that.
M16.
Like M16 could be your thing, and it could just be a gun, but then ours will be a gun with
Come
a
and take
flower, and it'll be love, and a
The whole
chimpanzee
heart
holding
coming
it,
out.
but like eating some Cheetos.
Is he an orangutan or is he a chimpanzee?
You're right. You called me out on it. Ooh, it's already starting to crumble, everyone.
You have to have a good foundation for this campaign.
Let's do it. When this happens, when this comes around, the primaries come around, let's do a debate between you and me. And let's see how long I can go before you punch me in the face and just walk out.
I just want.
When you end everything with love, dude.
Laugh. Cheetos.
He's not a dog. He's
If we have a monkey,
No, he's going to hand me Cheetos.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, here you go.
if we have a monkey throwing up a heart, come on.
So first, it's got to be an orangutan like Clyde from Any Which Way.
How well would they do though? Because they would actually do pretty
You do
well.
pretty well. Yeah, you do pretty well. It would be a good third party candidacy.
You get all these MTV.
You take all
Rock
the
Vote
Democrats.
kids
See,
on.
that's the
Democrat
thing.
votes,
That's what we
which is
need to
good for
do.
us.
Okay, so Schwarzenegger won the governor stuff, and that blew my mind. I was like, how is that a thing? We could do that.
Because he's the Terminator.
But he got Diddy, though. We need to rock the vote.
We gotta get
We need
Kanye.
to... Oh, we can get Kanye.
We got to get Kanye and Beyonce.
Damn, I don't know. That's
Can one of
crazy.
your your presidential campaign TV spots, can it be like a recreation of the Kanye video where he's on the motorcycle with Cheetos on your back and you're on the motorcycle, you're just looking like, hey guys,
fact-
let me tell you about our party line.
I'm going to call it right now.
Cheetos is feeding you the Cheetos.
All of our promotional things for our campaign are gonna be rip-offs of Kanye West.
Just Kanye
videos.
West remake videos.
Just give me the Power video, and it's just like it goes about 30 seconds into it, and then I look and I'm like, let me tell you something about immigration. Love. And then
Love
Cloud's just like
conquers
swinging.
You have U2 because that one. One love.
Oh, absolutely.
One
You two
time.
would definitely come perform at anything we wanted them to, because we'd be all about love and happiness and like, not actually tell people how to accomplish anything.
Sure.
Be great.
Would they sing Bloody Sunday on?
They probably wouldn't sing
No,
that.
you don't want to do that. That
No.
brings up bad memories.
Yeah.
Can we get
They're gonna be the
Hadaway
pop
to do
culture.
What is Love?
Yeah.
2014 edition.
Guys.
2016 edition. Excuse me.
You can have whatever you want at this party, because it's your party too.
We want to win. We want to be the president.
You can't have that, and you probably can't have ice, because I forgot to stock ice at the party. It's the number one thing I never
Damn,
stock.
that's not good.
I know.
You gotta remember to stock that.
I will, because we'll also serve Coors Light at the party.
Oh god.
My suspicion is that we're gonna win this election.
I think so too. But I think it's
I don't
'cause
even think we have to really do anything.
the adults have to come out and vote. I'm saying he could motivate the kid core, and
Yeah.
the kid core is out there.
So
All these
Obama
young-
won.
Got to think of the
With
children.
the hope, yeah, they had the hope. They got the love, and
People
and
under
the
30
Orega
didn't
thing.
vote in that 2008 election. McCain would have won, which is bizarre. But
Isn't this what Twitter's for? Can't we ask people who they'd vote for on Twitter?
Well, we're on a social platform right now. Everybody in the comments
Oh
tell
yeah,
us who you
comment
vote for.
and tell us who you'd vote for.
Here's what we should do.
Hashtag love. Or
No.
Moriarty.
Here's what we'll do. Hold on. This is what we're gonna do instead.
Okay.
You're gonna go home tonight.
Okay.
And you make T-shirts. You make campaign
That's
T-shirts.
not what I do when I go home after this.
What do? You go to
you
sleep.
specifically make campaign
I watch the
t-shirts.
Cosmos. Well, I go home and I kiss my wife because she's usually asleep. I watch the Cosmos.
Why even bother
And
kissing
then
her
the rest
when
of
she's
it,
awake?
it's none of anyone's business.
All right. So, anyways, go make T-shirts, and we'll put them up on districtlines.com.
T-shirts?
Yeah, make
We're
it
gonna do two.
We want a Moriarty Miller one, and
Okay.
then a Scarpino Gettys one.
And I can do whatever I want for the Scarpino Gettys one.
We'll give it the first month, and then we'll report back with statistics on which shirt sold more, and that'll be the winner.
I like this
Because
idea.
I'm not going through and
This
counting
is
every.
awesome.
I'm not going
Look
to
at
count
that.
every comment in every gosh darn YouTube. Thanks, leave comments. I
Thanks,
like
guys. We
responding
love
to
the
them,
comments.
but I
We
don't
love
like
responding
counting.
to them.
Everybody knows I hate math. That's another part of our platform. You do the math.
Ooh, that's
Mr.
a good,
Moriarty,
that's a good tagline.
you do the math.
You
In
do
the words
math.
of currency, you're not a mathematician, but you can count.
It's M squared 16. You do the math.
You do the math, or we're the party.
Come swim in my pool at the party.
Oh my god.
God, that's so good.
That's a terrible slogan. That's not
great.
that. It's confusing.
But you have to imagine it on a
You have
poster where it's a
impeachment
girl
written
who's,
all over
like,
you.
whost just walking in a bikini.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like
Next
the
to
easiest
Cheetos.
thing on the planet. Holding Cheetos'
next to
hand.
Cheetos.
How will you
orangutan.
deal with Congress, though? Congress is going to get rid of you in about
I'm not going to
5
deal with
seconds.
Congress. I'll tell you why. Who's the person in the government that deals with Congress? Who's the head of the Congress?
The Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
going
Vice
to be
President.
Cheetos. I'm going to invite Cheetos.
fuck
Give me
me.
the Speaker of the House.
Damn.
No, you got Cheetos though.
You're the head of the,
Yeah,
you're
I'll
the
be
head
good.
of the Senate.
Cheetos is just going to come in and he's going
Yeah.
to throw stuff all over the place. People are like, this orangutan knows
Oh,
stuff.
Who
Cheetos.
else but Cheetos?
He's this guy's-
Congress is adjourned.
You're like, that Cheeto drives a hard bargain. Fine. He's going to cross those aisles.
Fine, we'll tear down the wall. No immigration.
How are you going to deal with Putin? Cheetos.
Send him over there.
Send him on a
I love
rocket.
this. I
Aerate
love
him
this,
over.
guys.
Just parachutes in. All right, that was a crazy topic, and then mainly all we did was build your campaign because our campaign is sensible.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Sensible never wins.
When's the last
We've
time you
seen
went to
that
a really
time
good,
after time.
sensible party?
Good
Exactly.
point. That's a good point. The Tim Gregg debate would be pretty great. Mm-hmm. Just asking us
Well, that's
questions.
gonna happen
and
too.
We're just like, whatever. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I don't know.
Anytime
We have
math
to
or
ask
anything,
these
the
guys.
money comes up, the budget, we're just like, I don't know.
What do you... that would be amazing. I want to see that too. That's
It's
gonna
like
happen.
whenever, I like Tim and I are just like, when we're at the kids' table, like when we'll be talking about something for the YouTube channel or whatever, and you two will start talking about like, well, I'm not confused about the tax breakdown of this, and Tim will also be like, yo, what's
Yo.
up?
Hey.
I like Donatello.
You just gotta. All you do is you take it and you relate it to something you do know about, and we know about partying.
You're right. This is going good places. Love.
All right, buy the shirt. We'll tell you who won based on that. Nick,
Yes.
what's your topic?
My topic, as always, comes from the audience.
Oh yes, it does. Who won last week?
Unsurprisingly, accidentally farting in public
Oh.
won last week, and that was thanks to. I really got
Thanks.
to write these down. Damn it. Well, I'll find that later, guys. While I'm looking for that,
Yeah.
When's the last time you accidentally farted in public?
I mean, what? Like, accidentally.
I mean, I fart in public intentionally all the time. But
Do you?
Yeah. I
You do
rip.
for
I
real?
rip. I rip
Doesn't
farts
everybody?
all the
It
time.
doesn't embarrass you?
Well, but
Are
I
they
do it when
silent?
people really can't hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you're on the airplane. That's the best.
Oh, I have pants. Thank you so much for that.
Good,
Great Twitter handle.
Good
as well.
handle, yeah. Especially for this question.
Colin, so you're walking down the street and you're like, you feel it because it starts in like sort of that mid stomach, kind of toward the rear end area, and you're like, I got some buildup, and I think it's good enough to just kind of let it go.
You got to relieve some pressure,
and you're just like, it's a basic human thing. So before modern society, this was happening all of the time. Every time someone would go anywhere and they had to fart, they just farted, right? But we have these sort of social taboos, which are that it's really not, you're not supposed to do it in public, right? That doesn't bother you at all.
No one has to know. It's not like I'm walking around like in like a church and I'm like, farting walking down the aisle to get the host or whatever. It's like the body of Christ. Yeah, do the tongue there. I'd rather you do the tongue thing.
I used to just look at
So into the camera, dude. Do it to the camera. You do it to the camera. Do it to the camera.
Look at the priest's eye.
You were all best friends. Show the best friends.
Don't break eye contact with
I
them.
do the whale's tongue. Like SeaWorld, they were like,
I like the idea of you not breaking eye contact with the priest, though.
No, I never do. When tongues are involved, I always keep eye contact.
But no, like last week I was texting Greg because I was even on the Muni coming home.
Yeah.
And I was just farting. Like I was like, I gotta do it. I'm sorry. I'm like I gotta let it go.
Did they smell? I don't know.
I definitely
more so
smelled
than the smell. Were they like? Did they make audible?
They did because I could hear it, but I think like the noise of the train and all those kinds of things
You're covering it.
are covering it up. Like I don't think you're again it's there's a difference between like there's ambient noise and then
like
silence.
Yeah.
Like no one's gonna hear like the rip of the fart.
Sure.
But when I think about it, like I'll walk down the street and I'll fart. I'm not gonna do.
So, like,
I'm trying to be inconspicuous about it.
Right.
But like I always
Just
think,
walking and like just drop to like your knees, like ah.
but I always think about if I'm doing it. Certainly, other people are farting
Sure.
all around.
Oh
me.
yeah, all the
Oh,
time.
sure. I mean, I'll if there's no one around, sure, why not? But like, I don't think I've actually ever accidentally done it.
Oh, I have.
Ever?
I have.
Maybe in like,
I did it in school.
I don't remember a time when I did it.
Never accidentally. Like I've never farted with an audible fart that I didn't want to happen at that time.
Interesting.
So you do it for humor.
Well,
you do it for
audible
comfort.
for humor, but mainly, I mean, I'll just do it when I'm like, I'll fart in front of whoever the fuck if I know it's not going to make a sound. I don't give a shit.
So the sound is the most important.
To me,
thing.
the sound
Not
is the thing.
The lingering stench in the
whatever.
air that
you
smells
can totally
like
blame
dead
that on someone
insides.
else, unless it's like with someone that you
Rotting
Because I've
colon.
seen what you guys eat, and there is some rotting stuff inside.
Oh, my
of you.
colon is just
It's dark.
a mess. It's a fucking mess.
It looks like one of those caves that like man hasn't touched in like billions of years. And it's just stalagmites everywhere and like creatures.
It's amazing anything gets out of there at all. There have been times though where I've tried to be sneaky with the fart and then it just
you
smells,
overcompensate.
and then it smells. And it's like you gotta
Yeah.
kind of either play it up. I remember in the old office in Brisbane, I was going out with Clayman to go out to lunch, and I was waiting by his desk, and I ripped the fart. It just reeked, and I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it was just going to be an innocuous kind of fart.
Yeah, there has been times where I've been alone, like at my desk, and I'll fart, and then someone will come up to me and start
Immediately. It
talking.
happens to me all the
It's like-
time at work. I fart and then somebody comes up with a question. I'm like, Jesus Christ, really? Like I've been alone for 30 minutes and
Yeah.
all of a sudden somebody's got a fucking question here.
And what's
breaking
worse,
goddamn news.
what's even worse is that at the IGN offices, all of our somehow the cubicles are lined are put in such a way that your back is always toward everything.
Yeah.
Like I can't see anything. I am blind. I have like one spot I can see, like a horse. Everything else is no peripheral visions. So they sneak up behind you. They'll be standing there. You don't know how long they're there for. How long have you been there for? They're like reading your emails and stuff, having a cup of coffee, enjoying the superficial while you read it. Yeah, that's the worst.
Now, I want to bring up just real quick 2 rules.
Take your time with this.
The first rule is that when you're in a
I hate
bathroom, a
pants.
public bathroom, farting goes. It doesn't matter.
See,
Yeah,
no, fuck
yeah.
that. I think
I
this is
fart at
weird.
urinals and all that shit all the time.
That's
Who's
when
around me and
get
who's there? I let it go.
I get weird about that.
Yeah.
though.
I gotta let it go.
Really?
Where are you going to fart if you can't fart in the bathroom?
Go into the stall.
You get
Fuck
stuff.
that.
If
No
you're
way.
at the
You're in the
urinal,
bathroom.
That's weird, man.
I'm
This
letting
is the
them
same
rip at the
thing with
urinal,
like
dude.
with
It's
Christine,
weird.
right? Like where I don't want to fart around her. Here's the thing you need to know about Greg Miller. Everyone who is a best friend here, you guys, I don't know how much you've caught on to this. We don't talk about it enough. Everyone out there needs to know. I'm a loud person. I'm very loud, right? My voice at a normal volume is loud.
And when you walk up the stairs, it sounds like the Sasquatch is coming home from work.
Sure, there's that. When I sneeze, how do I sneeze?
Like my mom.
Oh,
Like a
5 and
crazy
6 times
person.
a
It's
day.
super loud.
You said
It's not super loud. It's
Yeah,
just,
it is.
It's very.
Then you only heard me hold it back. What I'm driving at is that I do everything loudly. I fart. In high school, when you're just friends and you sit around and you fart and you make fun of each other, they always said I sounded like a bass line. Because it's like it's deep.
You got the low end.
It's coming from deep within me, somewhere in here, and coming out loudly. So that's, there's no way not when I fart. It's rare for me like, oh, that was a quiet one, nice, whatever. So like when I go to poop, or even when I'm in the bathroom, like I like around like Christine, right? I'm not gonna be like farting all the time, right? At least only if they're quiet, okay, no, whatever. But like when I gotta fart or whatever, I'm not trying to fart around her. But as soon as I close the bathroom door, I'm not even worried about it anymore. Like I'm fucking in the bathroom. This is where the farts go. This is what happens.
Interesting.
I mean, granted, I'm shitting in there too. Don't get me wrong. It's not like just I don't go in there like a weirdo, fart for a little bit, come out.
We have that policy too at my household.
It's an unspoken rule. We've never spoken about could I just fart in front of her.
We have talked about this ad nauseum at my house, my wife, because I think it's funny. When you're married, you're like, everything's funny.
It's too late. You're locked in now.
What are you going to do? It's not
expensive to get out of this.
So I'll be talking, and I'll go, and I'll be like, yeah. And you'll just go, and you'll still be in the conversation, but the door will be open, and you'll be going to the bathroom or whatever.
I did not know I'm talking.
As I'm walking.
He always does this little Muppet walk.
This isn't a walk. I thought you were going to be like, you grab her by the nose and fart.
No, but you'll go and inevitably, like, you'll just be caught up in the conversation, and you'll go to the bathroom. My apartment's really small. It's San Francisco. It's not like we all have a lot of space. And the bathroom is like, it's hardwood floors. So you can hear everything. And inevitably, something will squeak out, and she'll be like, just shut the door. I can still hear it, but it's the courtesy of you shutting the door that allows me to continue on living without wanting to kill you.
Yeah.
Every single second. And I get that.
See,
you don't tell me that, because then I just leave the door open on purpose every single time.
Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, I go in there, I close it, and then I learned a trick from Damon Hatfield, because I roomed with Damon Hatfield for years going to events, just to run water. Just run water to cover up anything, any noise in there, whatever you're doing. I'm like, oh, that's very polite. Why did I eat those wings?
I'm the exact opposite.
Punching myself in the stomach. With you and your girlfriend have a bizarre bathroom relationship.
Yeah. Cheryl and I just go, like, if she's like, as long as no one's pooping, we'll go in and out of the bathroom like while we're talking to each other, and I'll just like she'll be in the shower and then I'll be and all that kind of stuff. But I fart in front of her all the time, and sometimes I try to Dutch oven her as well. So it's just but like I rip like notorious farts in the morning. This is a Moriarty thing. I think everyone farts in the morning, but my farts are like really loud. Mm-hmm. My dad, I would hear my dad fart in the morning, like from upstairs, and then hear him laughing. Just long, like 5-second fart, because my dad eats it mostly vegetables, so it's like a really gaseous fart. Yeah. And then you hear like, which is like so, because it's funny. Like your farts are funny. But I'm gonna teach you guys a trick that I want everyone at home to do it too.
Listen up.
Go in the shower and wet one of the walls. We have tile walls, right? Okay. Wet one of the walls. And then and you have to fart, right? So use one of the wet walls, and if you really want to get crazy with it, kind of soap up your butt a little bit. All right? Yeah.
Are we in the shower?
Yeah.
Did you just ask, are we in the shower?
Like, we're showering.
We're showering. You're in the shower.
You're just climbing into the bathtub?
You said go into the bathroom and wet a towel.
Yeah.
The wall. The tile wall.
I'm with Nick on this.
Wet the tile wall. And soap up your butthole a little bit when you're in the shower.
Okay.
Press your ass against the wet wall and fart. And it is the loudest thing you have ever heard in your life.
I'm going to do it tomorrow.
If executed properly,
I'm gonna do it
can be heard anywhere in the house.
Can I call you when I do it tomorrow?
Yeah. Is this something you learned from living with your brothers and
I don't know. I think it might have been something I actually invented myself. I don't know when I figured out that like you can amplify the fart noise by putting it against the wet wall in the shower, but I learned that.
Can we?
And it was great.
Is there a name for this that we could name right now?
I don't know. Maybe people in the comments can tell us what they want to name this
wet
maneuver.
Wall. Moriarty wall.
You're in the shower.
The waller.
You have to fart. You may or may not soap up the butthole a little bit.
That's optional.
I don't know if it's necessary. I feel like it might be necessary, but I typically am not like, because I've never actually like just soaped the butthole to do this, but sometimes I have soap on me.
Yeah, it's running down the crack.
It's like it's ready to go.
Beautiful.
So I'm not quite sure if it's just the lubrication.
When's the last time you did this?
A few weeks ago, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a recent thing.
Sometimes it's a dud, which is disappointing.
So give it a few shots.
This is so good.
Don't just come out and think, attempt one, think you got it.
But tell us in the comments what you think we should name this maneuver.
Okay.
And then try it for yourself, because I think it's really something special. Because it really brings out the humor in the fart. You already have the fan going in your bathroom. You're not going to smell it. You might be hotboxing yourself for a little while.
Yeah, the problem with the any sort of farting in the shower is that inevitably it makes it that much worse because it's warm then. it's like a warm smell.
Yeah, it is a warm smell.
You know
what the worst thing when you're in the shower is? This is just an aside. It's very intimately related though. You ever go in the shower and then you have to shit?
Yeah.
So you have to get out of the shower and then you're all wet and you're sitting on the toilet.
Feels like it's
terrible. And then you have to like start all over again.
The worst is when you'll finish showering. You'll be like, all right, now I start. I gotta poop, and you poop. You're like, I just I literally was clean.
Yeah.
For 10 seconds.
It's a real.
you
It's
just
a
gotta
real
jump
shame.
back in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always do this. I jump out of the shower, do it, get back in, forget I jumped out of the shower like a wet seal, and then when I'm done showering,
Yeah,
I
God,
slip and
everything's
fall on my
disgusting.
ass
No, you
because
don't.
there's water everywhere, every single time.
How have you not broken anything?
Because I'm made of steel.
Oh.
Broke your hip.
You break your hip.
You break your hip like an old man.
Okay. That was a good topic.
Thanks. I have pants. Remember, if you have topics for this Game Over Greggy show, follow me on Twitter at Nick_Scarpino and tweet at me your topics, just like I have pants, and we will vote.
Like we're going to do right now.
We're gonna
ladies
do
and
right
gentlemen.
now.
Two
So-
topics are going to come up.
I did not run these by you guys. I
It's
apologize
fine. Number
earlier,
one
but
will be
they're
down
pretty
here.
good.
Number two will be over here. You click on it. You watch little Nick's intro videos. Little Nick. You watch Nick's videos about it. Little Nicky. And then you like the video you're voting for. So you can watch both. You like them. The one with the most likes is more likely to be picked.
I feel like we haven't done this topic yet, and I really like it. It's a good serious topic. When would you cut the cord with cable?
Oh,
That is a good one.
So that'll be
there.
right here.
So
No,
click on
somewhere.
Nick's.
No,
or click
right
on
over
Tim's,
there.
Click
This
on
is
Tim's right arm.
That'll be on
fucking
Superman's
3 of this. You
bald
guys fuck
spot.
around. You've never even watched these videos. You have no idea where they go.
I don't watch my own work. And the next one is worst dates you've ever been on. That'll be
Click on the third cord.
it's this auxiliary cable.
Auxiliary cable coming out right here. It's just going to be a few pixels. Click on that.
We're done now.
How does YouTube work?
How does YouTube work?
Great. Thanks, guys. Good
My turn for a
good
topic.
discussion.
My turn for a topic. I don't know if everybody's aware of this. There was a cartoon we used to love called Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
This year, I'm sure you're aware of. Colin, did you ever watch Batman Beyond?
I watched. Is that the really stylized one from the early to mid 90s?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I
It's the-
watched that one.
Where
Late
they,
to-
the future.
Where he flies.
Oh, okay, late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that one. I used to rent the videos.
Okay, great.
His face looks like a cat.
It looks like what now?
That's where Harley Quinn comes from, right?
No. That was the animated series. That was Batman
That
the
was the
animated
early
series.
90s.
Oh, okay. That's
Then
the one
there
I'm
was a
thinking of.
sequel to it called Batman Beyond
No, I don't think I
that
watched
continued
With
the timeline
Eric from Boy Meets World.
as
Will Friedle is
Terry
the voice.
McGinnis. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't think I watched that one.
okay, it's future flung where there's this new Batman and Bruce Wayne's his mentor and yada yada yada. There's a whole storyline obviously from the cartoon that then was spun out into the digital DC Comics series that's going on right now, and they just revealed that Batman used to sex up Batgirl.
Wait, he used to have sex with Batgirl?
They were getting it on. They were in a relationship. Batman and Batgirl were in a
They
relationship.
were in a relationship, a sexual
Having
relationship?
sex.
Right.
So
yes.
not like a real emotional relationship.
No, they were. They were date. I mean, like, the headline is Batman fucked Batgirl, but like
Yes.
the when you get into the story and you get like they were in a relationship. She'd already dated Dick Grayson. This is canon, of course, for everything. You know?
Dick Grayson is Robin.
Right, and then he goes on to be Nightwing. He's the first Robin.
Right.
They had already dated. They had broken up. She got together with Bruce. They had a relationship. They decided in the end wasn't good for them. Got out of it. Then Nightwing, or at this time Dick Grayson, comes back to town. Barbara and him try to make it work again. Into this relationship, she discovers she's pregnant with Bruce's kid.
No.
Oh,
shit.
damn.
Yes. Now,
No protection?
Kiss of death.
to be clear here,
protection.
there was no cheating here. They weren't cheating.
Yeah.
There was defined ends, but like Nightwing came right back and they picked up where they left off.
Yeah, but there's rules. I don't know what those rules are.
No, that's a rule. You're breaking that rule.
There's Bruce Wayne fucking pretty much adopted Dick Grayson, right? Like he was his ward or whatever. Like they had a father-son relationship. And
Yeah.
like sometimes it's more played up like brothers, but they were family.
Yeah.
You know, if you're the dad, you don't fuck your son's ex-girlfriend.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's
Don't you?
rules that are being broken here.
Don't. This is rule number one if you're going to try to be a dad.
Okay.
What's the age difference there?
Oh, I mean, like it's whatever. Yeah, let's just.
This is
guesstimate a
important.
little bit,
This
right?
is important.
I agree. I agree, but it's. I don't know for the Batman Beyond canon exactly
Yeah.
what the age difference was, but you usually figure Batgirl starts at what 16, 17, somewhere in there, and
Yeah.
at that point, Batman's already been Batman a few years.
gotta be
He's
his-
usually picking up at 30.
30.
He's becoming Batman at 30, so maybe he's 30.
The Batman.
Okay,
32.
okay.
The goddamn Batman.
So there's at least
not
a
bad.
good 15 to 16
That's
year
not
age.
bad. Is
I
what
say
you-
not bad because he's
Time
Batman.
out too. I'm sure she was legal. So
Well,
That's
yeah,
the thing.
I'm sure
Yeah,
she was
she's
20s,
legal. He's
20s.
a
He's late
successful
30s.
dude. There's
we'll say
obviously
35, 20 is when it happens.
Yeah.
35,
I'm
20?
okay with that.
Yeah, how's that?
Let's say
15-year
21
difference.
just because you got to take her to a bar. You
Sure.
got to be able to take her
Yeah.
out.
Well,
for a drink.
first off, no, he doesn't. Bruce Wayne is not taking Barbara Gordon, the librarian, anywhere. That's fucking weird. Everyone would be like, a weird coupling, huh?
That would be true.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
very
thank
true.
you.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne is
You
going
win
for
that
the
one.
sexy starlet. He's not going for the cover, of course. Not because he's all
And they're
he's got.
having sex.
Yeah, to the pregnancy board.
It wasn't just a one-time thing. This was like a, hey, come, you're gonna drop by the manor tonight, or is it your place?
Well, I'm sure they went out and crime fought and then got it on in places.
Well, crime
Similar
fighting-
to the New 52 when Batman was fucking Catwoman. And that was awesome.
See, I don't like this, and let me tell you why. There was a small hint, and I think it was Justice League Unlimited, where Batman and Wonder Woman had a thing for a second.
Yeah. They were building to that for a
They were
long time.
building to that. I love that.
Yeah.
Opposites attract, right? It could be more opposite. She's a superhuman, like, kind of crazy Amazonian, and he's Batman.
Yeah.
So, the Dark Knight. Thought that was a really endearing way to connect two characters.
Sure.
This just sounds like they're trying to sell issues, which, granted, that's the business. But, like, would Batman... This is a guy who spent his entire life living a double life as Batman. All he does is fight crime every day. When he's not fighting crime, he's thinking about fighting crime. The man has an iron constitution. Why would he do this?
Yeah.
He got caught up in the moment. I mean, Barbara Gordon's hot, first
She's not
off.
bad.
Barbara
I'm not.
Gordon is... And I don't mean just hot in terms of physical attractiveness. I mean, she's smart. She's funny. I mean,
Wait, in
even
this,
Oracle.
She's not paralyzed in this, though, is she?
No. She's
Okay.
so Batgirl in this.
Because that would add another dimension to it. That would be...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyways, no, she's not paralyzed. But Batman gets it on with Catwoman. That's not a good idea. It still happens.
Yeah, I get that, though,
I'm more
because...
okay with that one.
Because that kind of makes sense in that that is his real persona.
Right.
Is this guy who's attracted to this woman who, if he had just gone a little bit to one side, he'd be that.
Sure.
He'd be the person that doesn't give it.
The other added layer to this that makes it even more fucked up, right, is the fact that he works so closely with Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, her father.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? This is like now dating your best friend's daughter. On top of your son's ex-girlfriend / maybe brother's ex-girlfriend.
Things are so incestuous in this world.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I like that. What comic book is this?
This is Batman Beyond 2.0. That was chapter 27 that had happened. 28. It's like the 26, 27, 28 arc where they're on right now.
I'm
Because I
excited,
guess
yes.
I had missed this. I had been catching up on IGN.com's comics articles about all this, right? In the fact that in the Batman Beyond animated series, which I enjoyed, but I think I was already getting to the point where I was not at home watching cartoons at this point, so I was catching it here and there, and I
So
wasn't
you were like 25.
exactly. I was getting ready. I had to go to work. That's the only thing that skipped out on it. But there's a whole thing of they talk a little bit about it of why Dick doesn't come around and Dick isn't a part of their relationship, and then they do the Return of the Joker storyline that looks back at what happened. You know what I mean? But even that, it's implied by Barbara, I guess, in some conversations with Terry that she had a fling with Bruce, but not this whole relationship.
Yeah.
Not that they had a baby. That, by the way, what happens is in the flashbacks, right? Bruce, of course, finally tells Dick that this happened. You know what I mean? Dick beats the hell out of him, and Bruce doesn't fight back; just takes the beating he deserves. But while that's happening, they flash across town where Barbara Gordon's Batgirl's fighting some people, and she gets socked right in the gut, and doubles over in pain, and that's the cue that she miscarried because of that.
Damn, spoilers.
It's well, so, whatever. That's where we're getting hung up on the thing.
Fair enough.
This is crazy. So comics in general seem to have taken this crazy. I mean, not that they weren't always crazy,
Right.
But now I feel like they can just be even more crazy. This whole digital thing, and it's easier to make comics and distribute
Right.
comics. People are way more focused in on these. Let's just have a crazy ass story.
what do you
See, it's not even. Here's the thing: is I don't I'm with you that I think the digital comics. I've been saying since Injustice started, in Smallville to an extent. Even though I think Smallville's way harder to follow now as a comic, just because that's a whole different story. But Injustice in particular, right, is telling the most fascinating DC comic stories right now in terms of superheroes and what's happening, right? And now this Batman Beyond is in the fold in the same way, just in the fact that these are digital chapters, even Adventures of Superman. They're digital chapters that are throwaway, and not throwaway, but they're not you always talk about Joker. Why doesn't Batman kill Joker, right? And he doesn't kill Joker because you're talking about the main Batman series, and there has to be an issue for this next book next month, but there has to be an issue for the next Batman book next week. You know what I mean? There's these different things, so all these villains have to keep getting out and not getting killed because otherwise they'd have nobody for him to fight or do, right? Which is stupid and it sucks. And when you think
It's
about
dumb
it,
as hell.
when you think about it on a logical level, it's a pain in the butt.
Doesn't make any sense.
The Superman New 52 when they started up New 52, right? And Superman's going and he's just this guy's made of fire, and this is boring. This sucks. I don't even care about these people. You know what I mean? Because Why are you have to waste time to get to the next Lex story, to get to the next thing? There's all these filler comics, filler storylines in between. Whereas the digital stuff, where like, all right, Tom Taylor, here's Injustice. You know, we have the game. There's a little bit of a backstory. You get to just tell whatever story you want now, and he gets to do the thing where Superman's ruling the world. You know what I mean? And talking about what that means. He gets to kill characters that would never get killed in canon. And it's the same thing. Like, you know, like, oh, Dr. Ock's taking over Spider-Man's body, and then a year later, all right, Spider-Man's back. And Captain America's dead. All right, Captain America's back. Like, you have to do that over and over again. Whereas with the digital books, you get to do whatever. And this is why I'm always stressing, and I've brought it up before to Jim Lee, and like when I'll do these interviews at Comic-Con, and of course it goes nowhere, is that I would love to see basically the month-to-month books, the canon universe is just done away with. I would rather you say, Grant Morrison, you're this amazing comics writer. Here's Superman. Tell whatever story you want. You get 12 issues to do it, and then when that ends, that's it. That's done. But it's like Kingdom Come.
Do those? Don't they do those like limited runs?
Yeah, they do those,
but they don't.
Like,
that's not the. I want that to be the norm.
Yeah,
I want it to be you're getting a year of Grant Morrison telling this Superman story, and when it's done, there's no canon to worry about. There's no complicated relationship to worry about.
So you want the Wolverine. You don't want the Days of Future Past. Like, you want one-off cool stories that you can do whatever the hell you want with. Not handcuffed by having to tie it in with something that happened 10 years ago.
Exactly. If you want to tell that story, more power to you. You know, you get your year, you get your story, and you want to draw back and do like, I mean, even this is a terrible example, but in terms of movies, right? You want to make Superman Returns and draw back to the Donner films. More power to you. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I always bring up the one in the, you know, I did the episode of Gregway where I was like, what comics should you read? I always call out Last Son, the Jeff Johns, Richard Donner Last Son series, right? Which is like Zod comes to Earth. There's this kid that Lois and Clark try to adopt or whatever. And it's like, it's almost a sequel to the Richard Donner movies because it exists in this like odd space. You know what I mean? Of like, it could be
Zod space.
It exists in a space where it could be a Donner thing. It could be its own storyline.
That's amazing.
This is the first time.
That down.
It's the first time he's met Zod, Non, and Ursa. You know what I mean? It's like, yes, that's awesome. Just do that because this is the same problem with the movies, right? Like, so, all right, we're rebooting Spider-Man, so you have to fucking see his origin again. Hey guys, Spider-Man needs our help. Swing all the cranes over here. That was on the other day. It was great.
Let me ask you a quick question.
Lay it on me, Chief.
Well, first of all, I heard an aside rumor for the Marvel fans out there that Beast was fucking Jean Grey. So I wanted to throw that out there real quick. But why do the villains in Superman are they so terrible compared to the villains in say Batman?
Sure.
Why do they like? I just don't. I think there's no one interesting in that universe that I've ever seen. That is like as interesting. Not really. No, it doesn't make any sense. Like
he's you.
But Superman is Superman,
right?
And Lex Luthor is a normal person,
right?
You know, it's
so
like
that's why it's interesting that Lex has to come at Superman in different ways, not just fights, not just fist fights. He's always trying to tear down his life, and it's also interesting the way that, like, you know, Superman has nothing but morals and ethics, and Lex has none of that, right? Like, Superman sure could smash through the building and break his neck, but he never would. Whereas Lex would do that in a heartbeat if he could, but he can't. So he has to be
it's
smart
so
about
weird.
it.
This is the weird conundrum of comic books. Like, why wouldn't Superman just kill Lex Luthor?
It's like
I just told you why.
You know, it's like you gotta play the game.
But it's a cop out.
What that is?
Yeah. If Lex Luthor's doing all this terrible shit, just kill him.
Okay, thank you. Now, why doesn't President Obama just go kill every dictator in the world?
Because that's not.
That's the exact same thing.
President Obama is bound by law.
America is the superpower.
No one's
America's superpower. America could do whatever it wants. It could start a war with the whole planet if it wanted to.
No one's gonna stop Superman.
No one's gonna stop America.
Yeah, they would.
No,
it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. But the bigger thing is that I've just never, you know, in all the Superman stuff I've seen, whether the movies or whatever, there's just no interesting villains, and that's what really bums me out.
Sure.
You know, I like the Batman villains, and I just feel like Lex Luthor's an interesting character, but where is like I need like a guy like, you know, that's a little. They need new villains.
I agree. I'm with you on that thing. I think what you're
Superman's
talking about
too
is
powerful though. That's another problem.
But again, this gets into the whole thing of the Reeve movies ruining everything. I don't think he's as powerful as you think he is, but that's beside the point. That's another argument.
He can fly through space, the vacuum of space.
How does he breathe?
He can hold his breath. It sucks. It's stupid.
Have you been reading the Batman ongoing right now?
Yeah, Scott Snyder.
Yeah, like the 0 year thing.
Yeah.
For a while, were they not releasing issues?
Yeah, they weren't going concurrently for a while there.
Oh, okay, because I feel like there was a huge gap, and I was like, "Where the fuck's the?"
Yeah,
issue?
they just had some stuff in the middle of it. It got off track. That was too bad because the Scott Snyder stuff's great.
Yeah.
And back to what you're saying though, I think Yeah, Batman's villains are all more cerebral, right? They have to think. And I think the fact that a lot of people, I mean, Superman gets created, right? And I think they're lazy with him for 30, 40, 50 years, right? Of just like, we'll throw this giant guy at him to fight, and they'll do it again next time. It'll be this giant robot, and it'll be, you know what I mean? Like, the great example was today, Robin Williams passed away this week that we're recording. And obviously there's been a lot of stuff shared lately about like trying to get people out of, not get them out of depression, but like, hey, if you are depressed, here's some help, yada yada. And one of our fans actually, I want to say it was one of the Das brothers. I'm sorry if it wasn't. Sent me a link, and it was to a Tumblr that was from the Straczynski run of Superman when he walked across the country to get back in touch with Earth because he'd been gone for so long. And he's walking across the country, and he comes across a girl who's getting ready to jump, right? And it's like a 7-page dialogue with her where he's like, he flies up to talk to her, and she's like freaking out that, she wants to end her life or whatever, and she's getting ready to, and how bad everything is. And Superman's like, and she's like, talking to Superman, she's like, you always, I've read that you always keep your word, right? Like, you never break your word. And he's like, yeah, that's true. And she's like, I need you to give me, I'll let you I'll let you talk to me as long as you want to, as long as you give me your word that if I jump, you won't save me. And he's like, all right, I'll give you my word, like, blah, blah. And so he sits there and talks to her for like 7 pages, trying to talk her off the ledge and be there for her. And like, there's this great like 4-panel spread where she's like, I'm done talking, I don't want to talk anymore. And he's like, she's like, my head hurts. He's like, I'll wait, don't worry. And so there's this thing of him just sitting there hovering, and like, it's like clearly like, midday, then it's dusk, and then it's nighttime, and like they put on a giant spotlight up in the air on him. She's like, can you tell them to turn that off? It hurts my eyes. And he just looks down and heat visions it and breaks it. And then he just like, that's where like Superman works and I think belongs and exists the best. I don't enjoy a Superman story where he just goes and fights the giant monkey. You know what I mean? Like, I like
Cheetos?
where he goes and fights Cheetos and takes down the evil President Scarpino. No, like, I like when he's there being this, human. Yeah, he's acting a human. He is a human. He's showing his humanity, but he has all these amazing abilities to, like, that's great. Like, I mean, like, that's when I love Superman, and that's what I really, really love about him.
I just think that I have no problem with Clark Kent as a character. I think the whole, like, the whole angle of him as a human, or like as his normal person's cool, and his love affair with Lois is interesting, and Lex Luthor's an interesting character. It's just they need to tone his strengths down. He can do everything. Like you're saying, he's floating in the air and using his laser vision to like destroy this light and all this kind of stuff. He can fly in space, and there has to be like some sort and his weakness is like this rock. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, it always bothered me when I was a kid when I watched Superman movies, because it was just like,
again, though, the movies are what ruins you. You got ruined by 30 to 50 years of laziness, and they're doing interesting. This is what I was talking about with the animated series, right? Like, he's not all powerful in the animated series. He isn't. He has to wear a spacesuit when he goes to space. Mm-hmm. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, there's differences here, like where the mythos has been expanded and twisted, to where it's not just.
But how does he survive the Van Allen radiation belt when he leaves the Earth?
You know what? It's only the.
At what point does he not have the powers? Like, if he goes
under a red sun when there is no sun. Final night, of course, when the sun was being eaten by the Sun Eater and there was no sun. He wore down over time.
Oh, that's crazy.
Superman.
You should read Invincible.
I think the thing. Oh, you should definitely read Invincible. But I think the thing about Superman that I always hate was that when I think about the sort of pantheon of amazing comic book heroes, right? You got to have the Wolverine in there. You got to have Batman in there. Those are fundamentally flawed characters. They have weaknesses. Wolverine does. I guess not have that many weaknesses, but still, there's lots of psychology going on there, right? Yeah. Those are the characters I like to read. When I imagine myself as a superhero, you don't ever give yourself a weakness, right? And that's how I see that's Superman. Like, I would be like, well, I want to fly. I also want to be invincible to stuff. I kind of want to be really fast too. And it would be cool to be able to see through stuff. Also, I'd like to hear really far, because then it's like,
hearing that'd be amazing. That's a stupid one. I wouldn't want that.
Awesome. You can hear bullets coming from like miles away, or like
they're gonna
a
hit
missile.
me and just die. I don't care.
So yeah, I mean, it's awesome, but yeah, Colin's right. I mean, he does. It's hard to write a good Superman story.
100%.
That's why it's hard to write a good Superman movie.
Yeah,
I think he's just there's too much.
Superman. Yeah.
There's no conflict.
Anyways, back to Batman fucking the shit out of Batgirl and giving her a baby. That was crazy. God. And it's one of those things it's just never really occurred to me. You know what I mean? Like, somebody pointed out, it was in the interview I was reading on IGN, right? The fact that, like, and I guess like Batgirl's like second appearance on the animated series, she has like a dream of kissing Batman, and it's like, oh, like, yeah, but it never, like, in the same way we're talking about Superman, like, you know what I mean, like that he's all these ethics and morals. Even though Batman's a flawed character, I never thought in my head he'd be that flawed to give into weakness and like even kiss her, let alone
primal weakness.
Yeah,
But see, I love that because that's what makes Batman Batman. Like, sure, he's got ethics, but after a while, he is just a man. He would break down. That many lonely nights, that much like violence. At some point, there's going to be maybe it's raining outside.
Only looking at Alfred.
You got Alfred's
You
not
just need
much
a little
to look
Batgirl.
at. He's not a looker. He's not helping you out when you're in need.
He has Alfred dress up sometimes. I heard in the Wayne Manor, and
He just calls him Penny.
yeah.
Penny. I don't know. I got nothing with that. Right. But I do think that there's something to that, right? Like, I think that there's obviously she idolizes him. She wants to be Batgirl.
Sure.
And there's going to be a certain amount of attraction that would happen to a man of his stature in both communities, both the crime fighting and
In both communities.
entrepreneur community.
Entrepreneurial community.
So yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it happen. I think it's a very human tale.
It's just crazy that I've never really given the idea much of a thought. You know what I mean? Like we talk about how like, you know, played out comics are and like, you've seen everything before and everything just gets recycled. It's like, I've never really thought about this. And I guess one of the parts that I'm going back to with the fact that I'd love to see more limited issues and not have a continuity is like the fact that I've never really thought about or done it is because they can't do that, right?
Yeah.
They can't do that and really fuck up the universe in a way that really.
See, that's
gets
why
weird.
Kingdom Come.
Awesome.
So good.
And a standalone book,
its own
right?
thing.
4
Yeah,
things.
bomb.
There you go. Favorite comic book series of all time.
Let's take a step back though before we wrap this one up. Isn't that the whole? When you were a kid and you imagine yourself, maybe Matt was the only person that did this. You imagine yourself as a superhero. Wasn't part of that you got to get the girl? Like, isn't that why we're so fascinated by watching these superheroes eventually like pair up and get girlfriends?
Yeah, but that's not the girl though. That's the little girl. That's what makes it weird. Like, that's Robin's girl.
But at this point, yeah,
right? Like,
yeah, I guess.
Like, you ship them. You don't ship you and the.
Fair enough.
He had Catwoman. Like, that to me is like.
Catwoman was never gonna happen. He's never gonna like settle down.
Or
with Catwoman.
It did happen. They had a kid. That was, of course, pre-crisis.
But he had the kid with what's her name, Al Ghul.
Well, that's
Talia.
post-crisis, pre-New 52.
No,
See,
that's
he had a lot of
Talia.
girls.
That's a woman you marry.
No, Talia will
What?
kill you in your sleep.
She loves you.
She
gotta be
wants
the
your
new
seed.
Ra's al
She
Ghul.
wants your exactly. And then when you don't do what she wants, she tries to kill you and sends
she's
all our
a
ninjas to
strong
kill
woman.
They
That's
said
right. We have
that,
something
though.
against strong women.
No, I don't. Don't please. People on the internet put words in my mouth all the time. Let's not go down that path right now.
Wait until you see Beast banging out Jean Grey, though.
I'm looking at it in my
I
mind
don't
right
think
now.
I don't think they're banging out. Like, I'm not totally up to date on it, but like.
They're not. I'm just making that up.
No, but there was a thing where like.
Damn it.
They were like into like. Past Jean Grey comes to the future.
This is why
and,
comics
like,
are dumb.
Yeah, there's like a dream sequence. Not dream sequence. She goes in his head or something. And
She uses
then
her
it's
psychic
like,
powers, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. And he's just like, oh shit, I did have a chance. Like, he realizes that there was a moment that she was like into him.
Ah, nice.
And he's
This
like, I should have acted on that.
This is why comics are silly,
was
because I
everyone-
made something up and it actually happened.
Why was everyone?
Yeah, that's why comics are silly, not fiction.
Beast shouldn't be banging anyone. He's
He's
not
a
even
normal
human.
man. Yes, he is. You don't
He's
even.
a blue animal.
He's a mutant. You're being against mutants right now. You're being prejudiced.
I always like the Wolverine Storm connection. I'm gonna put that out there as a final thought from me on this
Wolverine
one.
Storm. Okay.
They had a fun little hookup in the Ultimate X-Men.
What was the one where he had no hand? There was a
Age of
series where he had,
Apocalypse.
yeah,
Age
Age
of
of Apocalypse.
Apocalypse.
They hooked up, and she had the badass like mohawk.
Yeah,
I always thought
Storm's
Storm
hot.
never got. She never got enough like attention from the group. If I had Storm sitting there, I'd be like, equal to Jean Grey. I'm talking to this girl. I'm talking to either of those girls at the cool little
I
table.
don't know. I'm still sticking with my Kitty Pride.
Kitty Pryde's cool.
I like me some
Just because you just like saying kitty.
Kitty.
What about
Kitty cat.
the samurai chick, Psylocke?
Oh, she was
Psylocke,
hot.
yeah.
She had the best like the unitard or like the leotard outfit. Come on.
That's one of the only issues of X-Men I ever bought when I was like, it was like
I probably bought the
1994.
exact same one.
It was when she was on the cover. I'm like, this is awesome.
It's one of the only issues I ever bought. The one where she was on the cover.
Yeah, it was.
Well, guys, we put her on the cover once, never again.
But I think it was when she was maybe introduced or when she was kind of new or something like that.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't remember her really being a thing.
Quick thing to blow your mind. You know how you're talking about how you liked in Justice League Unlimited, Batman and Wonder
Yeah.
Woman. Keep in mind, then that would be the same animated continuity that would eventually lead to this reality.
Really.
So they break up.
So where do I start? When I want to start with
it all starts with Batman the Animated Series, then Superman the Animated Series,
Right,
then
I've seen all
Justice
those.
League, then
Seen
Justice
all
League
those.
Unlimited,
Seen all
then
those.
Batman Beyond.
Then all the comic series based.
No, so I've seen Batman Beyond also.
Okay, so what do you? I don't know what the fuck is
I
your
thought
question?
this was a digital comic that you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh, so go buy the digital comic.
Batman Beyond 2.0.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking. So that's where I start.
Right.
Got it.
Sorry, I wasn't understanding the question.
My bad. I wasn't articulating
Gotcha.
properly.
Real quick, Is Bishop and Cable still a thing?
Yes.
In the Marvel universe, yeah. Okay. Just curious.
Yes.
I liked them. I liked them when I was young man.
I liked Cable.
Marvel sucks. Colin,
Yeah.
what's your top?
I want to talk about Robin Williams. We mentioned him a little bit earlier, but obviously, as you said, he committed suicide this week. We're recording, so people will be hearing it a week or so after that happened, and it was very sad. Robin Williams is a very important comedian and actor. I think an actor that showed a lot of range. I think some of his best work was actually when he played serious characters. Obviously, he won an Academy Award for Good Will Hunting, but he was nominated for Dead Poets Society too and stuff like that, which is maybe his best movie. And some of his creepier roles I think were really interesting too. 1 Hour Photo.
1 Hour Photo, yes.
I think it was like a really weird movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't get enough credit. People always talk about it, and you'll hear people like, I liked it a lot. It was the kind of like horror or suspense movie I was into. You know what I mean? Like you knew this guy's off. What's going to happen? What is he going to do next?
Yeah, it was a really weird movie. So I just wanted to kind of throw him out there, see what you guys think of his career and some of your favorite Robin Williams moments, memories, whatever. I know that when I was a young man, Mork and Mindy used to be on Nick at Night, and that show was on from like 78 to 82 or 83. So it was even before I was born. But I used to think that show was hilarious, and
it was hilarious.
And that tie in to Happy Days is
that was awesome
because that's in the same universe, which is really weird. With Laverne and Shirley and all that other shit too. And I just thought I just thought he was really funny. Like that character was really funny and genuine and kind of pure. You know, like it was.
Question for you as the expert: what? In the Happy Days Mork and Mindy thing, which I had forgotten all about till right there, was it that Mork started on Happy Days, or was it that they had two concurrent shows and then crossed over?
No, the shows were in this. As far as I understand, he only appeared on Happy Days after Mork and Mindy was over.
Oh,
and I think it was just the same production team, I think, and it was in the same universe.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I mean, and I think about some of the movies that Dead Poets Society. I was watching the "Oh Captain, My Captain" scene yesterday, which is like such a poignant and powerful scene. That movie's just really fantastic. It's a fantastic film. And then I'm thinking about Hook, and I'm thinking about Jack, and I'm thinking about Jumanji, and and Good Will Hunting obviously is it's way overplayed movie, but it's
Jack,
on all the time. Jack was awesome. I remember seeing that in the theater.
That's the first movie I remember crying to.
That's the one where he was the big kid. He was aging in reverse, or was it just that he aged really quickly to be Robin Williams?
He was aging quickly. He was like a 10-year-old boy, but he was like an adult.
Okay.
I forgot what it was, but there's a scene in that movie that for some reason just resonated with me, and I was a little kid, but it hit me so hard that I was like, man, that's so sad. That idea is so sad.
Right.
I remember just crying. It was crazy.
Yeah, doesn't he die?
Yeah, he graduates, right? And
yeah, something like that. I remember seeing it with my dad. It was like when we used to go to the theaters on Saturday and see two movies, and that was one of the movies we saw. And it was
pay
like
for
96. No.
Thank you. The quick aside about the movies. When I went to see Godzilla and X-Men with Christine, I was like, oh yeah, we'll go see a double feature of Godzilla. And she's like, all right, great. And that was like the idea. And then we're planning the day. She's like, all right, so we'll go see the first movie, and then we'll go to lunch, and then we'll see the second movie. I'm like, well, no, what are we? No. And she's like, well, I'll buy the first. And I'm like, what do you think a double feature is? She's like, well, we'd buy I'm like, no, you buy one ticket, and then you can theater hop. She's like, I am not doing that. And I'm like, all right.
I mean, I haven't done that. I haven't done that as an adult, but
that was my thing too. I haven't done it.
I used to do that all the time. I did that with. I used to do that all the time. Well, I think in 8th grade I saw like Something About Mary and like some other random movie.
Yeah, we used to go to the Glen after. I mean, like I'm junior high. It was the last time I did a double feature where I'm jumping around being stupid. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah, I probably did it like quite a few times.
Yeah, and Hook, man.
Hook was awesome.
Was such a good movie.
Yeah,
Rufio, so awesome.
Yeah, Rufio was awesome.
The thing about Robin Williams now is like whenever people die nowadays in the internet generation, like you see everyone's reactions, like Twitter, Facebook, all that stuff. Then as the days goes on, you start seeing the like more thoughtful like letters and stuff, like his daughter,
right?
Zelda, like put that thing, and then Rufio, I forgot the actor's name, but like he wrote this like really heartfelt letter.
I haven't seen that yet.
And just like it's so hard to read these things,
sure,
and just be like, man, like you knew them. Like this sucks that you lost somebody. Like we all lost somebody, but like you guys, you're the ones that really lost someone.
Well, there was a good comic that got tweeted today, a web comic this woman drew about how battling her own depression. Right? I'm not familiar with her work, but I think she's been cartooning on the web for a long time. And it was that she's known she's been depressed forever, and she's never been suicidal, but more in the way of like she just, if there would, the comics, like, if there was a button that I could hit to make me not exist, I would do it without a second thought or whatever. And she, like, you know, draws it, like, you know, her mom telling her she wasn't worth anything and her father saying that, and, like, people being really mean to her. And now she's married and in this committed relationship with an awesome guy or whatever, but same thing, that she can't get over that. And then, like, how this new, you know, that she felt really good, I guess. I'm gonna script the dates here. Today's Wednesday, right? So she had a really good day Sunday, and like didn't feel that way, right? And then Monday she finds out Robin Williams is, you know, killed himself or whatever, and it makes her immediately think about it again. But then watching the world react to it and saying what we're saying, right? That like we are all devastated, but then there's people who like know him and like family members, and like that was her. You know, watching the world react, let alone the people who actually know him, like Zelda, then, you know, gave her this new thing of like, she's not going to do that. She's not going to think that anymore. Like, she realizes what it would do to her family and her friends and the great life she has now. You know what I mean? And like, she'll still have her bad days and yada yada, but like, she can keep this as her like, you know, North Star kind of thing. And I thought that was, you know, interesting and fascinating. A good thing to come out of this terrible thing.
And that's what happens, you know, like when things are worst is when you get the best of something. So
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, for me it was weird because it was a really long week. It's been a really long week, and we're recording on Wednesday, so we got 2 more days. But the news sort of hit as I was doing 50 different things, and I was like, that's horrible, but I don't really have time to take that in. Flash forward, I drive home that night on Broadway, and I hit Broadway and Steiner, which is where the Mrs. Doubtfire house is. Yeah. And there's news trucks everywhere and a candlelight vigil. And I was like, holy crap, that actually, like, that somehow connected me a little bit more, in a little bit more material manner than just the sort of reading the headline on Twitter. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, I can't believe. I guess the hard thing for me to process, because I'm not someone suffering from an affliction like that, is that I just don't get why, if you had that, it's hard because outwardly it looks like his life is amazing, right? The man has been one of the most revered actors / comedians since the 70s, really, I think, right? Like, he started doing those stand-ups and he just was, you know, I guess it was a hard life, but he had great success. And he struggled even then with addiction and all throughout these years. And so it's so hard for me to figure out, like, what was the breaking point now? Because to me, if I had that going for me, and granted, yeah, he's had a few movies lately that weren't great. His show didn't get picked up again.
But I even want to. I mean, like that. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know if that played into it. I mean, maybe. We'll never
the thing
know.
about depression is that it doesn't make sense, right? That's the whole problem with depression. I don't even know if it's like if things are pushing him over. I mean, people talk. You know, there's been so many stories about I'm dealing with depression or this. You know, and you hear people talk about what it is, and they're like, because people are like, he had $1 million. Why wouldn't he be thrilled? You know what I mean? And they're like, you know what makes you happy, and it doesn't make you happy, and you don't know why, and you can't fix that. You know what I mean? That's crazy. That's like
crazy,
super hard. This
whole thing to me, like you were saying, the Mrs. Doubtfire house, like it's so weird to me, and it still hasn't really hit me as hard as I think it might have a couple years ago. Robin Williams lives in San Francisco, or like at least one of his houses in San Francisco. Well, not even Marin. There's
you're saying is this one of his houses? I see what you're saying.
Yeah, one of his houses is in the it's right by Baker's Beach. Okay. And it was like 10 minutes from the house I lived in growing up. And every year at Halloween, we'd go to his house, and like he had this huge thing. Like he had these like giant dinosaurs that he'd bring out, like giant dinosaurs. And you put them out, and then there'd be a line of people. You'd give everyone little glow sticks, and like he'd personally give people candy.
No way, really?
Yeah.
He gave you candy?
He wasn't there every year. Oh yeah, a bunch of years I got candy from him. Like all the time, we'd just give it. And it was like going to his house for Halloween was like Halloween, and so that was awesome. But what was crazy too is like Robin Williams was like a neighborhood staple for me. Like growing up, and I never really realized how like crazy it was, because like I'd watch Hook or Aladdin and all this stuff and be like, oh yeah, it's him. My mom would tell me how big a deal it was, but I never really put it together. But like we'd go to the playground and like his son would be there. We'd go buy Pokemon cards and his son he'd be there with his son buying Pokemon cards and all that stuff. And my favorite Robin Williams story is when me and my little brother went to Blockbuster and we were gonna rent movies. I don't remember what I was renting, but my brother was trying to buy You Got Served. Classic American.
Classic. It's on AMC's Top 100.
And Robin Williams is in front of us in line, renting a movie at Blockbuster, because that's what people do.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do this. He turns around to us and he just starts talking to us. Like I don't even know why. And then he just looks at my brother. He looks. He's like, "Oh, I'm in that." And my brother's like, really? He's just like, no, why are you getting that? Get something better. And it was the best. And yeah, that's my Robin Williams story.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a He's a special dude.
Movie we haven't brought up that I'm not even saying as a joke. Bicentennial Man. I enjoyed Bicentennial Man. Yeah, because it's just weird. It's a weird movie.
It was weird. It was
Flubber.
well conceived. He did great.
No, I did not like Flubber.
See, I loved Flubber.
I was
But
too old for
like
Flubber.
7 years
Exactly, I
old,
was
and
too
it
old for
awesome.
Flubber. Yeah.
The dance sequence, oh man.
Yeah, what I didn't realize about him was just that he was such a conflicted man. Like, I don't know how I missed that, because that seems to be pretty well known.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize, like, who was it? They were saying, like, he had a pretty severe cocaine addiction.
I knew about the addiction. Yeah.
And alcohol.
But he did coke with someone who died like that the night he did coke with him. And I can't remember. It's like another famous actor. I can't remember the name. I was just reading about it. That Grantland did this like huge, awesome piece on him that I was reading today. And I didn't realize that he was like so incredibly conflicted about like a lot of things in his life or whatever. And one of the things I always appreciated about him, and I don't think I even realized the level of it until I was reading about it too, was just like I always knew he was like a nerd, which always let us connect with him or whatever. Obviously, he named his daughter after The Legend of Zelda, which is amazing. And I was reading today that he named his son Cody after Final Fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's rad.
Which
That's
like
really
I didn't
cool.
know too. So it's like, and I was watching the Zelda commercials. I remember seeing them on TV.
Yeah.
That he did with his daughter for the 3DS Ocarina of Time re-release, and I don't know. He just seemed like a really genuine person, and like he always played a part that you can kind of relate to, and it can make you sad. I remember being really kind of again caught up with this part in Good Will Hunting. Like I thought he was just really good in that movie, and I know Ben Affleck and Matt Damon owe him a great deal for that playing that role, and
They know it too.
yeah, and they said, I mean, I think they've said as much, and
Ben Affleck's. I almost like Ben. Like I know him, but his tweet was about that. Yeah, like what do you owe a guy who gave you everything? And he's like, the answer is everything. I screwed that up quote up, but it's something nice.
so it's a sad thing. It's definitely a loss for American cinema and American comedy, and obviously the world and stuff. And I he was one of ours in this country, like one of our great exports in terms of comedy and acting. And it's sad that it's sad that you can be so profoundly sick that like Nick was saying, like situations that people would really kill to be in. Like have all the money in the world you want. You never have to work again. You work because you want to.
Yeah.
You're beloved in your neighborhood, in your community, and in the country, and in the world, and there's still something nagging at you.
There's still something, yeah.
And it's like that's profound and fucked up and sad. And it's too bad that he had to be found like that by people. The way he killed himself with people that loved him, and it's a bummer. Like he's definitely, he's one of the first actors that have died for our generation where like we really knew him. And he was really super prominent. It's always sad when someone dies, and like someone like Heath Ledger dies, and it's profoundly sad. And he's a great actor, talented actor. We didn't know what he could do quite yet. He was just kind of coming into his own with Joker and all those kinds of things. Obviously, did a bunch of roles before that people really loved. But Robin Williams, we saw like a whole lifetime's catalog, and now we don't have him anymore. And that's kind of. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, this is just my sort of, not a memory of Robin Williams, but this is something that like I would have liked to have said thank you for, is I wasn't a huge Disney fan when I was a kid. I'd watch Disney movies growing up, and you're like, okay, this is a cartoon, so sure, I'll watch it. You get to Aladdin. He was one of the first people in a Disney movie that I was like, this is a different take on what I had grown up with. This is a really funny, really almost kind of adult character that they've put into this to really kind of shake things up. And from that point on, I started paying attention to those movies because I was like, if they can get me with this, what do they got next up their sleeves? And I can't remember what the next one was. I think maybe it was like Lion King. And then I was like, hooked. Come on.
Yeah, dude. Oh, Aladdin was so good. Genie was so like Genie specifically. You're right. Like
he's the character. He made the movie. You can't have Aladdin. That movie would have tanked without him. Well, it would have done.
I mean, what's funny? I think I actually told the story before on the show, but
it's gonna tank.
Robin Williams said he'd only do Aladdin if he wasn't the top billing on the poster, and they fucked that up. I don't know if you guys remember. He didn't want his character to be the biggest thing. The genie is the whole top half of the poster, so he got pissed at Disney and like sued him and like got super angry and didn't do the sequel. And then he came back for the third one because he was just like, I like this character. Like,
they settled and everything.
But the character made the movie. Why it deserves top billing? It's the best.
Well, he doesn't want it to be that way.
Yeah, he didn't want it to be people going for him. He wanted it to be for I don't know other stuff. But
Steve from Full House.
Yep.
And
That's his break
so yeah,
on.
Genie was played by some different dude in the second movie, but then Robin Williams came back for the third, and then the whole Aladdin series is like begins and ends with that one the dude in the
Desert.
the desert guy that's like selling stuff, and who has the lamp, and like that's Genie. That's awesome.
I haven't seen the second and third one. Now you
you
got
should.
me excited.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, oh.
No, I'm going back to that.
Yeah, it goes
I'll just watch that
full
final
circle.
scene, see what he's or have him.
Yeah,
explain it.
Jumanji
YouTube.
too. was just,
Jumanji.
like,
I just saw
such a-
Jumanji, and I say I remember at MomoCon when we were getting ready to go out.
That's the first
one
time you'd
night.
seen it?
No.
Oh,
It's the first time I've seen it forever. It was the last time I've seen it since this happened.
Got it.
And it was one of those where it started, and then it was one of those movies where like I just stopped getting ready and sat in the bed
Yeah.
because I couldn't remember what exactly. Like, how do they get back and what happens and what?
That movie is one of the few movies in my
finish the
life
game.
that just like the random quotes will just always be in my head. Like one of the ones is just like, "Oh, what a little water ever do to someone?" He's like, "Nothing, but a lot could kill him." And I'm like, "Whoa, that's super deep, Robin Williams." And yeah.
What year is it?
Did you say The Fisher King?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, I thought I heard you say The Fisher King because that's another great movie.
No, but that was an amazing movie, yeah.
I thought I could have
What
sworn
did
you
I
said
say?
that.
Oh, I said we got to finish the game.
Oh.
That's what they kept saying in
Yeah.
Jumanji.
Yeah.
You have to finish the game.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to finish the game. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of hits.
You said earlier, you saying Cody, that reminded me that, you know, when you're little and you play as the Ninja Turtles, it's like, I'm Leonardo and you're Donatello, whatever. So me, my brother, my friend Kevin I was Leonardo, my friend Kevin was Donatello, my brother was Michelangelo. We never had a Raphael.
Yeah.
So we'd switch out with all the random kids at the park. Cody, he was our Raphael every once in a while.
Oh yeah.
And that's fun.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Was he a good actor like his dad?
I mean, we had fun. I don't know. I didn't even relate that he was.
Sure you did.
Yeah, but it was fun.
Cool.
We did
That's
like
cool that
Raphael.
you had that connection. It's very cool.
Very random.
I'm looking up the kids because I don't think I've ever seen pictures of them. I think Zelda. I saw her Twitter yesterday because of course everyone was like retweeting her.
Yeah.
Or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever seen the kid.
Well, Tim's leaving already.
Tim, you taking off?
No, he's checking the information. We're on battery power today, so we're making sure we work. But we're done anyway. Of course, rest in peace, Robin Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, tell us in the comments, of course, your favorite Robin Williams memory. If you can top being his best friend, growing up with him in the neighborhood, getting candy,
It wasn't
meeting him
like
at
that.
Blockbuster, let us know. And of course, not to sound cliched, if you're going through anything, reach out for help. You're our best friend. We tell you that all the time. Obviously, we're not making that up. You know more about us by watching these shows than our friends and parents probably do. So make sure you take care of yourselves. We're always there for you in the whatever way we can be, unless I've muted you on Twitter because you were annoying me. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Game Over Greggy show. Remember, every Friday you can pick it up over at Bandcamp. It's gameovergreggy.bandcamp.com. $1 gets the entire MP3 uncut, no problems. You get it, you're good, you're great. If you don't want to give us the dollar, I totally understand. Go to youtube.com/GameOverGreggy. Monday through Thursday, every topic is broken out one by one until we post the whole show for free on Friday. But then you can just go to Bandcamp, buy the one for $1, and have a great time. Go to districtlines.com/GameOverGreggy. Buy t-shirts, cups, and stickers right now. Nick is hard at work, I'm sure.
I'm doing it right now. I'm writing notes down.
Posting the campaign shirts, Moriarty, Miller, Scarpino, Gettys. We're giving you 1 month to buy them, and then we'll see who is the more successful presidential ticket.
Love, guys.
And then we'll leave them up, I'm sure, through like 2016.
Do you like parties and love?
Or do you like a
Scarpino,
balanced
guys.
economy that doesn't...
Do you like jobs?
Yeah. Do you like
And
security?
lower taxes?
Do you
Nobody
like
likes
having
jobs.
a military?
What?
Look, if you don't have a
Dude,
job,
we
you don't have to
got
pay
this.
taxes. You just go to the party all day long.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next time. But until then, thank you for watching. It's been our pleasure serving you.